Keep guessing, keep guessing, keep guessing, keep guessing. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's not hard to say how I feel. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's kinda easy now 'cause it's real. Hey. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. 4 or 1,000. There's no adding up the number. So many feelings, so let it out, not under. Keep guessing, keep guessing, keep guessing, keep guessing. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's not hard to say how I feel. Ooh la la, ooh la la. It's kinda easy now 'cause it's real. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It ain't hard to say how I feel. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's kinda easy now 'cause it's real. Gonna say how I feel, 'cause I know that it's something real. Gonna say how I feel, 'cause I know that it's something real. Hey, hey. Gonna say how I feel, 'cause I know that it's something real.
Hi guys. Sorry if I'm a little distracted and say hi. I can't tell if you can hear me. I can't hear anything. I did something with sound settings earlier, and now everything is like so odd. So, can you hear me? If you will tell me a yes, if you can hear me, or if I sound like I'm just yammering away, look like I'm just moving my mouth. Oh, it looks like I'm moving. We can hear you. Okay. I just can't hear anything. I couldn't hear any of the song. I couldn't hear the ooh la la's. Oh well, that's the way it goes. Yeah. So I wonder what's going on. I wonder if my iPad has taken over or something. Screen, nope, I'm not doing that. Sound, oh well. Oh well, hi Glenda, how are you? Okay. All right, let's go back. Say hi to everybody. Gloria's here. Hey, good to see you. Janice is here. Yay. And Deirdre's here. Hi Nathan, how are you? How is life in the future? Janice, Nathan, Gloria. Good, everybody's saying hi to each other. That's awesome. Oh, you look. Are you going to do a big canvas, Nathan? Wow, 48 by 48. Nice. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can. I'm hoping to give this little applause. Because nothing's coming through for me. What is going on? Well, if fiddle-dee-dee. External microphone is in the microphone. It's not really. Internal input there, output. You know what? I'm going to take the headphones out. Maybe I'll hear. Can you guys still hear me if I take the headphones out? Congratulations. That's awesome. Ooh la la. So Angie's here. Everybody's been having a good day. It's been a busy day for me. Yeah, yay. Not everywhere I went, they didn't have 48 by 8. Oh my gosh, that's a huge piece, Nathan. Congratulations. Came just in time. I wonder what that's all about. Yeah, okay, still can hear me. Got you loud and clear. My friend Glenda's here. She's saying hi to everybody. Distraction, the fine art of distraction. Hey, my day was going pretty well tonight, not so much. Well, you know what? We're going to try to swirl that around. Squirrel it around. Squirrel. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Everything was working fine earlier today. It's probably just, who knows why, what's mad at me now on this stuff. Good. Okay. Hey, okay, and you heard the applause. Okay, this is just so irritating because I'm not hearing a thing. Did I put myself on mute? Nope. Let me try one other thing. Sound is fine there. It's weird because the sound element is doing some strange, like in the sound thing in system preferences, it's showing, but it just shows my input as and output as my headphones, and I undid my headphones. Oh well, I'm putting them back in. Maybe it'll be nice again. Who knows? Or that could be, oh well, all right. So last night we had an assignment. Oh, where's mine? Oh, there it is. The assignment was I gave instructions. Are my headphones on mute? Well, I took them out and I thought maybe that they were not. So, headphones, fiddle-dee-dee. I'm just going to take them out and take them out of this whole thing, and I'm just going to go with my microphone, and it's going to be. So, it's probably a little not as, I've got my little thingy bob here, so you can hear me with that. So you don't really need this. I just don't hear any of the music, and that's okay. You'll have to let me know if there's feedback or anything, but we're just going to go with it. So hi, Monica. Good to have you here. Yay. She's saying hi to everybody. So so last night when we did this, I gave you guys some instructions. And the instructions were basic things about lines, like to draw a crooked line that touched 3 sides of your paper. And another one was to draw a broken line. One was a curved line that touched 2 sides of the paper. One was a spiral. And then I think there was just a straight line. And I asked you to take pictures of them beforehand, after you did that. And then I gave you some instructions. And the instructions were to use blue, yellow, and red colors only. I see one person already going, oh my gosh. And then you had to use each of those colors at least one time. That filled in 3 spaces, but you could color in 7 spaces on the whole thing. So and then I asked you to take pictures of that and send them to me. This is all about this is all about the artwork that I kind of opened last night's with on Piet Mondrian, and how he had those work that was, let me pull up something of his and a little bit about him. If I can find the piece. Okay, there they are. And I'll go to the iPad. There we go. Okay, so Mondrian right here, he was very famous for this kind of work that he did in lines like this, using primary colors and black and white, leaving negative space. He also did a lot of other type of work also, but this was one of his huge amount of works that he has that is in the Museum of Modern Art. He was a Dutch painter from he was from the Netherlands, Netherlands. I'm repeating myself. So that's what my opening part about the opposite northwests, because what I found interesting when I started to look at this was, okay, so he's from the northwest of Europe, and then at similar times, and even earlier, the northwest coast indigenous tribes were using very similar kind of colors, yellows, red and black, blue and yellow. Well, it depended on where the tribe was, on what their plants had. And I thought it was interesting how those kind of connected. So that's where I brought in the opposites, northwests, because I just thought, you know, here we are, clear opposite sides of the earth, almost similar latitudes, and the color choice and type of aspect that they did in the structure and rule that he had with his art was pretty cool. But so the activity last night was kind of fun, and to loosen up and to have some fun with what Mondrian did. And then tonight, oh, I struggled with this to read this story to you, because I'll tell you about that later, because some of the controversy behind the artwork of this person that did this book, but it still is a demonstration, a connection kind of that color. I didn't have the real book I wanted, but anyway. So anyway, after that, last night, let me go back to here. So I asked you guys to send those to me. Now I got ones from Janice and Deirdre and Angie. And Gloria, I don't know if I looked in just now on all places to see if you'd sent anything. I didn't see it anywhere, and I apologize if it's not there. But you're saying to follow instructions, right? Shit. No. Remember the line, the name of our book last night was Line and Squiggle. And you flat out said you were a squiggle from start out. And yours was the first one I opened this morning. And I wish I had taped Bob when I tell him that Rosa and we were having our morning coffee, and it was just made us so happy to see what you had done, because it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah. Oh well, but it still was beautiful. And that was the thing about that last night, that the coming from different perspectives and what you get. So I'm going to show everybody what the three were that I got from folks. And these were the three. The middle one, the person had a butterfly already on, used a piece of paper. That was, I think Janice said that. She was, full disclosure, she had been using that in a notebook that she made with Tish. And the butterfly was already there, so she just kept going on the same sheet of paper, which I thought that's fine. It's fine. I didn't say you had to start with a blank piece of paper. I just asked you to get a piece of paper. And so we have the squiggles, or the spiral. We have the crooked line that touches at least 3 sides. I think there's one here. There's one, 1, 2, oops, nope, or 3. I'm not sure which one. Maybe there. Anyway, the curved line. The curved line. We had a diagonal line. We had a straight line, and we had a broken line. So everybody had the same directions. Now, to be fair, I told you I would show you mine. I did the same thing, and if I can go for an overhead shot. Book larger. There we go. Okay. Here's mine, how it turned out. So you can turn it just about any which way you want. Oh, computer. Can you tell I'm not as together? There we go. Okay, there it is. Like that. So that was mine. There's my broken line that touched 2 sides. my diagonal line that touched two sides, my zigzag line that touched three, my crooked line, I think, my spiral, my straight line, and my curved line right there that touched two sides. So that was my interpretation, and then that's how I colored it. Okay? So let's see what we got after from this, from these, to our three. Isn't that cool? Don't they look awesome? I think it's beautiful. Oh, yeah. It's amazing the difference. Absolutely. Look at that. It is so cool. Same directions, but our perspective and our interpretation is completely different and completely unique, and still they came out so cool. I love them. I just love them. Aren't they beautiful? So we'll go through here, and this one is Janice's. So I love the light colored pencil type aspect that you use, Janice. It's very cool. Is that, if that's what you use, colored pencil, let me know, or did you do crayon? But it's so cool. And then the butterfly being in there. Yeah. So many different ways to express. That's what Monica says. Sigh. Isn't that, yeah. But what I think is cool is I think both pieces equally are wonderful, the black and white and the color. It's so wonderful. Yeah, colored pencil. She says she used colored pencil. Nice, Janice. And then we have Angie. So, oops. There. So here's Angie, and I think Angie said she, oh, you told me in the, I was going to remember too in the message. I read it this morning. It was wasn't it a pencil, watercolor pencil or whatnot? I think. So Angie's got all the same elements in there, and she's got the blue and the yellow and the red. And she just decided the other negative spaces needed some color. And I think that's beautiful. It's really cool. It looks wonderful. Yeah, isn't that awesome? And then we have Deirdre's. Here's Deirdre's. Look at that. I mean, just so the concentration of her colors in a way. And then she also went over the lines in color. And I love it. Look at that interpretation. I think that is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's the same directions, the same, so we see things or we hear the same things, but what our brain puts it together with, and how we put that together is so unique. No two of us are the same. I think it's wonderful. Well, the spiral, yeah. Different spiral, you know. Some spiral, spring, you know, you could, it depends, and the lexicon, the words that you use, how that is interpreted. I remember doing this with kids and saying, instead of a broken line, I wanted I wanted it to be broken like that, but I said dotted. So I had kids that had dots all the way across, and I was like, the words that we use, and a spiral there versus a spiral for Angie, or for me even, or Janice, I mean, it's different. And some look like springs, some look like the Fibonacci kind of, you know, the golden spiral thing. I just think it's cool. So that's that connection, you know, that even though we all did get different instructions, we can interpret them differently, but they still turn out to be wonderful. And and we really respect that aspect to it. The situation, and so Piet Mondrian, I hope you guys get a chance to go back and see some more of his things on his page, on this pietmondrian.org. Let me show you that again. On this page, there is, go back. Come on. Behave. There we go. On this page, there's a lot more, but there's a really cool video about the top 40 Mondrian paintings, and it's on YouTube. To see the work that he did. See? That is completely different kind of it is so, I mean, for me as an abstract photographer, there's so many things in here that I can see of how he saw that and why he painted them. I mean, he had pixelated ideas down way back when. Oh, it's hard to hear me talking. Sorry. Yes, so just, I mean, from simple lines and so much of his things with the angular, and then he goes into things like this that have just incredible aspect to it. And it was so unique to what he was doing at the time, or what anybody was doing at the time. And it's still, his work is very, very identifiable. And identifiable in a really good way. So that goes on for quite a bit of time. I'm going to stop it. Okay, so back to the subject at hand. I had a bit of a struggle today. So I tried to find another book that I had, and this is, you know, I told you about the book. I thought I had the F and G, the folded and gathered. I don't have that folded and gathered. Barb must have it. I have a publisher's proof of this particular book, which means the book's not put together, and it was kind of, and it is a book called Raven by Gerald Mcdermott. Now, he's a Caldecott winner. He won for Arrow to the Sun, which is about the Pueblo nation, a tale from them. He has won an honor for another book. I believe he got honor for Raven, almost. Raven kind of was a book that tipped the scale on his work in terms of controversy. And so the reason that I decided to bring it up, because the story is a cute story in a lot of ways. But what Gerald Mcdermott has been criticized for, and what he didn't do, is he didn't ever really check in and to make sure that his story and his artwork was accurate and representative of the culture that he was writing about as an authority on this trickster tale kind of thing. Because the tale of the Raven is a very indigenous story, indigenous people's story with deep, deep cultural roots. And I just read like a 20-page thesis on the controversy over and how much they had not liked what he had done in terms of his artwork and in terms of how he had somewhat disregarded the true oral tradition and of the native or indigenous tribes' story and their oral storytelling tradition, and he had taken it and westernized it to fit a more commercial way. Now, I also have to tell you that, I mean, the book has beautiful colors, and we can look at that, and it has some beautiful artwork aside from that. But if you are looking at it in terms of accuracy for a native Northwest tribal story and accuracy towards their artwork, not so much. I once heard my friend Barb, who is also a librarian, was at a when this first came out, was at a discussion about it, and actually there was a tribal leader from the Duwamish tribe here in Seattle area who said basically that the book Raven, while beautiful and whatnot in one way, was the artwork and the way it was represented would be like taking a ham to a Jewish wedding. Oops. So the idea of not showing as much respect or reverence for that type of artwork has played into that, and it has, for me, I have to look at it, and I guess I'm bringing it up because many of you have talked about looking at stories and writing and things like that, and I think that one of the things that you want to keep foremost in the front of your head is, am I being true to the real story behind this? If you are retelling a legend, are you being true to the real legend? Like the complaint was this, that all Mcdermott had to do was really actually go and speak with some tribes and speak to the storytellers and find out what the true meaning, what Raven really means to them, and rather than make it so kind of fluffy light. I probably should have said this all after I read the story, but it's in its own right, but it's still a hugely popular book. You will still probably find it on the bookshelf in a bookstore at any time because his work is wildly popular. He won the Caldecott Medal for Arrow to the Sun. He's gotten the same criticism for that. That was quite some time ago. I think that was in 82 or something. I can't remember. So before people were a little better at being culturally aware of some things. So that's just what I'm saying. When we look at these books and look at sometimes, and there may be a time where, like as teachers, what we had to do was say, okay, this is a cute story, but I need to make sure that I balance it with saying that this is not completely accurate and there's some other things that can go with it and how you balance that out. So anyway, I'm going to read that, but before we do that, I wanted to also show you back to the connection. See, I'm all over the place. Back to that connection between the opposite northwests. What did I do with my key? I showed you Mondrian, and here I'm going to show you this book. So this book is not a kid's book, but if you are ever interested in finding out about the artwork of the Northwest Coast Indian art, this is the person to go. I took an anthropology art history class from Bill Holm when I was in college. He was a professor at the university, and he was at the time the curator of the Burke Museum for all the Northwest Coast Indian art area. The museum has since been renamed in that area after him. Every tribal elders around will all confirmed that it was his references and his expansion and his studies that brought to light the wonderful nature of the art in itself. And it's just such a beautiful book. This is I have that original. This is the preface to the 50th year anniversary book. The book like this was my textbook. I have it upstairs. But if you look at the use of the color and the way the shapes are, you'll see that. The thing about that I thought how much that Mondrian used those primary colors, and all the tribes here have used them too. Black and red were the key essential ones. Those are the primary and secondary colors. And then you would have tertiary colors. And tertiary colors would be like the greens or yellow. And that would be based on what kind of plants that they had for them access and what color those plants would make for their artwork. So you see in the different kinds of things that he have and the carvings. I mean, even in carvings, they use these shapes. There's a thing called a 2-point cheek shape and a 3-point cheek shape and an ovoid, which is the eye shape. And how this is called a bentwood box, and it's made from a single piece of cedar that they bend around. And what would happen is that you see how the eyes in this one, okay, see how the different shape of the eyes, those are called the ovoids. They change. Some of them are more round and some be more flat. That's one of the key elements that you could tell where the artwork came from a tribe. It's just one of the most fascinating areas of study. And just like, look at these. The salmon head, the different kinds of ways to do it. And it had, you know, all the different spaces and around and what shape would make what, and all the different kind of things from templates. He just studied it so well. It was one of those classes that I absolutely loved. And then we got this book again when I went to the Edward Curtis photography exhibit, and saw this 50th anniversary edition. You see those type of things. And that, it just reminded me, I thought, you know how it is that we had Northwest Europe and here in the Northwest of the United States, these type of different work going on, and yet the colors translate, and there's still that same sense of order in their art. It's just beautiful. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So, okay. So here's Raven. And yes, it is beautiful artwork. I won't begrudge Gerald Mcdermott that. He has beautiful artwork. He's done a great job. And in some ways, it does elevate people's awareness. It's just that when the awareness doesn't go beyond just this. But this is Raven, a trickster tale from the Pacific Northwest. And remember, I read a song for the Ancient Forest the other night, and that was also about the raven and trickster, but how in that Nancy Luen referenced how the raven was more than just a trickster, was also the guide. So just the little differences. So here we go. Raven came. All the world was in darkness. The sky above was in darkness. The waters below were in darkness. and men and women lived in dark and cold. Raven was sad for them. He said, "I will search for light." Raven flew across valleys and across mountains. He flew across rivers and over lakes. There was darkness all around. Then he saw a bit of light far away. He flew and came closer to the light. The light was at the edge of the water. The light came from the house of the sky chief, and it was shining. Raven perched high in a pine tree on the shore, and Raven watched. I love this watercolor aspect, though. Look at that. That's so pretty. He saw a beautiful young girl emerge from the shining house and go to the edge of the water. She was Sky Chief's daughter. She knelt and drank some water from a woven basket. See the different faces in the totems? Raven changed himself into a pine needle. He fell down from the tree and floated on the water. When the girl drank again, she swallowed the pine needle. After a time, the girl gave birth to a child. The child was small and dark, with shiny black hair and tiny black eyes. Who do you think the child was? It was Raven. Raven had been reborn a boy child. Let's see. The Sky Chief was delighted with his daughter's child. He called him grandchild. He played with the boy and carved toys for him. He invited the elders to come and see the curious, wonderful child. The elders gathered in the shining house with the Sky Chief and his daughter. They watched Raven Child crawl around on the floor of the lodge. He pretended to be playing. All the time he was trying to find where the light was hidden. He saw a box in the corner of the lodge. The box was large. It was carved and painted with many colors. The box was bright. It glowed. Ravenchild said, "Gah, gah!" "What do you want?" asked his mother. Ravenchild said, "Gah, gah!" and he began to cry. "What does the child want?" asked the elders. And Ravenchild said, "Gah, gah!" and he cried and cried. "My grandchild wants the box," said the Sky Chief. The young woman placed the box in front of Ravenchild, but he continued to cry. She took the lid off the box. Inside was a smaller box. She took the lid off of that box. Inside was a smaller box. His mother took the lid off that box, and light poured out of it. Light flooded the room. Inside the box was a shining ball, blazing with light. What do you think the ball was? It was the sun. "Give him the ball," said Sky Chief. His mother gave Ravenchild the ball. Ravenchild stopped crying. He began to play with it. He rolled it around on the floor of the lodge. "Gah, gah!" Then he changed into a bird. "Ha, ha!" And he became Raven once again. "Caw, caw!" Sky Chief, his daughter, and the elders looked on in amazement. Raven plucked up the ball of light in his beak, flew through the smoke hole of the lodge, and disappeared into the dark sky. Raven flew over the valleys and the mountains, and he flew along the rivers and across the lakes. Raven threw the sun high into the sky. This is how Raven stole the sun and gave it to all the people. And why do the people always feed Raven? To thank him for bringing light. The story on the surface is very cute, is very cute, but I guess the issue has been that it really kind of glosses over some of the true meaning of those trickster tales and those tales that are true to the Native American people, and he's done it so many times. So if we want to look at it as simply as an artwork piece of, I think that his watercolor pieces in his background is amazing. I think it's absolutely beautiful in some of the areas, and the young girl is, I mean, I just love that. But anyway, that's Raven. I wanted to, the other book I was trying to find was Davey's Dream, and I will find it. I don't know why Davey's Dream disappeared. I just had it the other day. I would have read it. Now, Davey's Dream is by Paul Owen Lewis, and Paul actually went and lived with the Haida for a good 3 months before writing the book so that he could understand more of that before writing that, and it's an amazing, amazing book. So yes, it is impossible to make everyone happy. We just do no harm. Oh, hi, yay, it's art by Donna. I made the beginning, yay. Good. Gloria's here and Donna's here. Excellent. Yeah, I know it's not the cheerful kind. I mean, the whole discussion wasn't all light and wonderful. It's just, I know several of you are really thinking about what you could do with your art and for books and stuff, and I just wanted to bring that awareness to really, I think you'll feel better if you have a book that is really true to what the story you're trying to tell and what the story is. If it's a retelling, yeah. For example, we've read Jan Brett's book, the Christmas Trolls and all of those books that I did at that time, and you guys raved. Her artwork is amazing. She does so much amazing research before she even puts a pencil to paper or a little bit of pen to paper. It's amazing what she does before she completes the story and does her artwork. And so you get a sense that the culture that's being represented in the artwork that she uses is really true to life. So, well, that's it. It is the colors and highlights and shadows he does. It's just, there's the contrast. I think one of the things that makes it so, I mean, it does capture kids' attention like crazy, is this contrast between the colors and the background, and that out of focus, like the way the book moves through from darkness and brings in, and the dark and the lights brought in, and how it's blurry in the background, and as more light comes, things become somewhat more clear until your depth of field is much deeper in that sense of what they can see, until we get to the end and you notice everything's in focus. It's clear, and everything can be seen. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the light is awesome. Well, I'm glad you like the story. It is a beautiful story in its own right. Sometimes I just wish I didn't. Sometimes I wish I didn't know this stuff and I could just enjoy it, flat out enjoy the story. But it's also something that I think I kind of feel my responsibility in this is I brought you into my world of storytelling and children's literature, and I'm trying to let you see a lot of it and all parts of it, and not just the fluff and beautiful stuff. And yeah, I think what the essential thing is, though, yes, it may is that which books we choose to read to kids and which books we choose to bring into our, like anything else, we make those choices. This was, like I said, this this is a publisher's pre-advance copy. So this book came out in 1993. Okay, so it's not even doesn't have any parts to it. It was a publisher's advance copy. So this shows you what a section is. So there's 2 sections of the book, and how the pages go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is why you get 32-page picture books, okay? Because there's a sheet of paper that they can print that, or it's either this size or they're usually the bigger ones, that they can print them out, cut them, and put them together. And it's this piece and then the other piece. And when you get that, you get 32 pages. It's the most economical way for them to put together a picture book. And that's what it is. Those are the, I lost the name of what those sections are called. I used to know. But that's what they do. So you get 32 pages for a picture book. Some picture books, if you're really well known and you are a big seller, and if it's a little longer one, can get another section, and they'll go to 48 pages. And then you're into chapter books, which is 48 and 64 is where you start with beginning chapter books. There's very rarely picture books that are 48 pages. It's just, I think like Eloise, I might have, my Eloise book might be like that because Eloise just was an older kind of book, but I'll have to look on Eloise. But that's how they're put together. There's a science behind that, and it's an economic deal with that too. Anyway, this is lovely. She says, yeah, thank you, Donna. I'll go back and look. That you said that you have your family in Squamish. Squamish is not too far from here and has artwork in the tribal lodge there. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. A gift to the chief. Oh, wow, that is wonderful. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of information that's vital about creating books and what you're going to do, and all that kind of things. It's a good, as Monica says, it's a good discussion to have. It says, oh, here's a silk painting. I wonder, okay, hang on. I just have to do something real quick. Did you do SQ, come on, SQUAMISH. No, that's the is it Suquamish or Squamish? Or is it in BC, in Squamish, BC? Yes, so that would be, is in north of Vancouver, British Columbia. It's in the northern tip of an island dotted Howe Sound. Oh my gosh. This is, Deirdre, this is really kind of, it's an area that is very much in tourism now because it's a beautiful area to go travel. But it's also, as a kid, I used to go up there onto Vancouver Island, then we would go to Quadra Island, and we would go out on our boat in Howe Sound and all around in there. That is just, it's been a long time. In fact, yes, beautiful area up there. Wow. When I ever get back up there, I'll have to stop in and see it. It's one of the other things that I like to do. You know, like I said, I like to go to the museums in different towns. The other thing I love to do is I love to go to the tribal art centers. There are some beautiful ones in so many different places, and it's just, it kind of feeds my soul. Let's see. That we could find it online. I wonder if Tourism Squamish. I was looking for the. I'd have to. You know what, Nathan? I'll look and see if I can find it. See if it has a museum for the tribal center for the Squamish tribe, not the Suquamish. There's a different tribe. Yeah. And I'll see if I can find it. And if I can find it tomorrow, I'll have it for tomorrow night. But first off, we have to go back and see all of our beautiful, the 3 pieces from directions last night. Yes. Where did I put mine? I hid mine. Oh, there it is. And then all together, the differences. And then I forgot, I didn't put mine in. Mine is right. Here's my piece. So yeah, we all had such different ideas. I love it. I think they're just amazing. Same directions, different perspective. I think the key is that we all really respected the art that we wanted to do and put a little bit of ourselves into it. And that's pretty perfect. Just what we needed to do. So everybody, that's kind of it for story night tonight. I hope that it gave you food for thought and that you enjoyed the story. You got a little bit of something out of the art. Take a look at Piet Mondrian's that website and see that YouTube some more, because I think as fluid artists, you guys, and me as an abstract photographer, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see the connection, and I've always loved Mondrian's things and all those influences that are starting to kind of come to my surface, and I look back at my things and go, oh, yeah, okay. And it also, what it does for me as a securely insecure artist, let me put it that way, who lives soundly as an extroverted introvert in that realm. Yes, I'm securely insecure in my talent. It makes me go, okay, I can, my vision, yes, that I felt proud of that, but yeah, it does kind of fit in some areas, and it's not off the rails terrible. It could be good. It could be good, and I use that to bolster myself up. She's on Instagram under Hayloft Studio. Oh, okay, we'll look that up. Oh no, you're not too scatterbrained to try to be an author. Helen Lester, who has done, so many books, so many kids' books. Oh my gosh. She had a way, what she would do is every time she thought of something, she would grab whatever scrap of paper, whether it was a name or an idea or a thought or a thing, and she would write it down on that, and she would stuff it in. She had like a tissue box. She'd stuff it in there and just stuff it and just stuff it. And she had names and ideas and different things. And so when she would get stuck writing, or when she would need a name, she would reach in and pull it out. And whatever name came out, that would be the one in her book, Me Too, Me First. which, yeah, is about this pig that always has to be first and wants a sandwich, and he ends up being having to work for a sandwich because he wanted to be first, and those type of things. So no scatterbrain, but that's what Helen did. You find your own little thing, and she's a wildly successful author. And Lynn Munsinger does her artwork, and it's just, yeah. But tissue box pulls out things like, oh, that's a good idea, and she's like, she puts sticks on the back of old receipts. If she finds it, if she doesn't have anything, she'll, tear it off the corner of something in the car when she, oh, it's just funny to hear her tell about those things. To break through an individual book structure, again, so many ways to express. Yeah, the picture book structure is very different than other kind of books and other, adult novels or other coffee table books. But children's picture books are, there's a huge, to make them successful and be purchased, there's a lot out there that are sitting on people's shelves that they don't ever get purchased or that they don't get published. But when they do, they're can be wildly successful. I mean, who doesn't still know, might still know Make Way for Ducklings or Blueberries for Sal. Those books sound familiar to you? Who has Eloise? I still have Eloise. I'll read Eloise one night when I have a lot of breath, because Eloise is the first full page is an entire run-on sentence. My mother used to call me Eloise because she said I was a run-on sentence. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye and wish you all the best. Put on the music that I can't hear, and I will pretend to dance to. What is up with my sound tonight? Oh dear. So you guys will dance it out for me, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. And the first place you want to look is in your mirror. Love you all. See you soon.